Okay, get yourself ready for your restorative practice. So have a blanket over your normal. Sorry, Jeff. Oh, my cat Jeff is sitting on my blanket, so he's not very happy. So have a blanket over your usual mat, and have a blanket underneath your head. Have the bolster for your for underneath your knees, and a couple of blocks underneath your feet. Make sure that you're feeling warm. Have a blanket nearby just to ensure that's the case. So even if you've got lots of clothes on, sometimes because this is practice that employs a lot of stillness, even with lots of clothes on, you can get a bit chilly. So have a blanket as well if you need it. Just lay yourself down into the floor. If you can cover your eyes, then that helps you to relax all the more. So cover your eyes. If you've got a yoga eye pillow, that's a good way to just allow the eyes to quieten. Just puts a little gentle weight over the eyes to allow the mind to quieten. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate breaths. Listen to the breath as it enters and as it exits. Soften your jaw by drawing your lower teeth away from your upper teeth. Just feel where the body makes contact with the ground and contact with the equipment. Draw your focus inwards. Just spend a little time letting go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Let the muscles release as you sink into the ground. Consciously let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs, allowing the physical body to become heavy on the ground. Draw your attention to how your legs are supported on the floor, on the bolster and the blocks, just adjusting if need be. Draw your attention into the soles of your feet. Draw your attention into the soles of the feet and allow the soles of your feet to completely relax. Using your out breath to just drive that relaxation. Relax the soles of your feet and then draw your attention into the tops of your feet. Draw your attention to the tops of your feet and then relax the skin and the muscle and the bones of the tops of the feet. Relaxing the tops of the feet and drawing your attention into the shins. Draw your attention into your shins and allow your shins to sink into the backs of the thighs, back to the backs of the calves. Consciously letting your legs relax into the mat, letting the hips relax and allow the legs to sink into the ground. Allow the fronts of the shins to sink into the backs of the shins, relaxing the shins and the kneecaps into the sockets. And then observe your thighs. Draw your attention into your thighs and your kneecaps. And allow the fronts of your thighs to sink into the backs of your thighs. Just allowing the legs to sink into the ground. No hold, just allow the legs to relax. Just let the legs release into the ground. Soften the legs, completely relax them into the bolster and the blocks and into the floor. Draw your attention into your abdomen and into your chest. And consciously allow the muscles of the abdomen and around the lower ribs and around the upper ribs, let those regions completely release. Letting go in the abdomen and the chest, releasing the intercostal muscles between the ribs. Just enjoy the sensation of releasing into the ground, letting the chest relax, the abdomen and the legs completely surrender into the floor. Observe how your shoulders make contact with the ground, how your head is elevated slightly with a folded blanket. Relax your shoulders. Relax your shoulders and your upper arms and your forearms, and soften the hands. Softening your shoulders and your arms into the floor so that the body becomes completely relaxed. Draw your focus into the neck and the head, softening the neck into the floor, letting the head become full of positive energy. Soften your neck and the muscles around the face. Wear a neutral expression. Just allow the body to feel as though it's full of energetic lightness and air, almost floating off the floor and up towards the ceiling. Softening the face and the neck and the throat and the jaw. Softening the face and the neck and the shoulders and the arms and the chest and the pelvis and the legs. Just bringing your energy back into this pose of basic relaxation. When you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, and then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster. Have the knees together, the feet apart. And then gently roll over onto your right side, just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just sit yourself in cross legs for a moment, or just any comfortable position. Just observing your energy. Okay, we're going to do our mountain brook pose, just to bring some real vitality into the chest. So just have, unfold your kind of folded blanket, and then just fold it down the middle the other way. So it's like a little stumpy kind of narrow bolster. So your shoulder blade, that's going to go underneath your shoulder blades. So it's going to keep the bolster for underneath your knees, but without the blocks there. So you just have the bolster for your knees like this. And then you come down. The blanket is in the shoulder blade region, and then you're just going to rest your arms on the floor over your head like that. And this pose is really good for bringing lots of good, positive energy into the body. So if you had a bit of a tiring day, then this pose in particular will really help to bring some positive energy in. So as you know, as we progress into the sequence, I'll speak less and less so that you can just spend the time relaxing rather than listening. Again, you can cover your eyes just to create a little bit of darkness. and you're ready to disturb yourself, just bring your arms down to the side of the body, bend your knees, and then roll onto your side, and then again sit yourself up. Just observing the energy around the shoulders, fairly intense energy. Okay, we're going to do our side lying stretch, a really nice stretch just to open up the shoulders. Again, bringing good energy in. If you've got an oblong bolster, that works really nicely. Your other bolster will work fine as well, but I just find the oblong bolster, for me, it feels more comfortable. Have a block for your head, and you just sit with your legs in like your legs bent like this, just one on top of the other, and then you stretch out along the side, and then it's just the armpit chest that's supported by the bolster. Bring your shoulder onto the floor, rest your head on the block, and then reach over and bring your hand over your ear. Again, covering yourself up for warmth and comfort. So the arm that's on the floor, just have that in a little right angle if you can. Just adjust the pose to your comfort. Okay, bring your top arm back to the hip and then push your elbow into the floor and then sit yourself in cross legs for a moment, just observing the energy that you've released through pose, and then just come over onto the other side. So just sit yourself on the other side, on the other hip, lengthen yourself out along your bolster, and then have the block for your head, and then stretch your arm over your head. Okay, bring that top arm back to rest on your hip. Push your elbow on the floor, into the floor to sit yourself up into cross legs. Just observe the openness around the shoulders, the energy around the chest. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then we're just going to come into our heart pose. So just have a bolster for underneath your head, underneath your back. Have a folded blanket for your head, and then we just lay directly down onto the floor with the legs just stretched out, and then you allow yourself to just release into the floor. So this pose again is just an energizing pose, keeping the chest really lifted and open. So if it's uncomfortable, if it's too high in your back, or if it digs into your lumbar, then just adjust until it doesn't. Or you can put a block underneath your seat bones if it's uncomfortable in your lumbar. Just sit on a little platform, just keep your legs stretched out. Again, just cover your eyes. Just for darkness, for relaxation. You have to excuse the sound of the cat snoring if you can hear it. It's just asleep and having a little snore. Okay, push your elbows into the floor. Just sit yourself up in cross legs with your hands in the masti. In hands on your knees rather. Just observing deep energy that the poses release. And move the bolster from behind you. Have a bolster from underneath your knees. Bolster from underneath your head. That's a blanket from underneath your head. And then just for the last couple of minutes, just relaxing in our basic relaxation pose. Bolster underneath your knees, folded blanket underneath your head. And then allow yourself to just completely relax into the floor. Just let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Allowing the body to initially feel heavy in the floor, up on the floor, but then acknowledge the feeling of deep energetic lightness that radiates from the bones into the muscles and into the organs and into the flesh and the skin. Using your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness evenly down into the toes and into the fingers and up into the top of the head. need to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have the feet apart and the knees together, just resting your back into the floor just briefly. And then very gently roll over onto your side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through the nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice. That good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the relaxation poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Just connecting the tip of the index finger with the tip of the thumb. It's a gesture of wisdom and peacefulness that you can carry into your evening. And then gently allow your eyes to softly open and focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you have really lifted your energy, giving yourself some good positive energy to get into the rest of your evening. Thank you very much for joining.